places to find facts with the story. I'll link them in the description. I've also got pulled video footage from the court case to use in this video. So make sure you hit that like button and let's get into this video. Let's go. On January 28th, 1976, Daniel Halseth was born. He was born in Estacada, a little bit south, I believe, of Portland, Oregon. Daniel was a very, very hard worker with can't say because YouTube is gonna demonetize it, but they have to dispose of what they just did. So they get saws, knives, meat cleavers. They get everything they can. And one of the videos on surveillance that caught them was them entering Home Depot. They would try to I'm not gonna say it. YouTube again will demonetize it. They were trying to Roy DeMayo him. If you don't know who Roy DeMayo is, search him up. You'll see what I'm talking about. But they wouldn't be successful with it. They would ultimately just end up leaving Daniel burned, charred, sitting up against the garage. Aaron and Sierra were both ultimately sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole for killing Daniel. Daniel's family also came out and said that they wish the harshest penalty against Sierra and Aaron. So that is it for this week's true crime story. Let me know what you thought